for the new version of Penny, but she had been so identified as that first character that it wasn't able to happen. Although the showrunners believed that the problem with Katie was purely a writing problem, not an acting one, CBS nevertheless asked them to hire a different actor. The result is that we got to enjoy 12 seasons of Cuoco's Penny, a charmingly sympathetic character who helps bring the gang.
Mayim Bialik, known for playing Amy Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory, has never watched herself on the show. Despite her iconic role, Bialik finds watching her performances uncomfortable and prefers not to overanalyze her work. She explained that she never sat down to view an episode, only seeing snippets during live audiences. This sentiment is shared by many actors, including Johnny Depp and Reese Witherspoon, who avoid watching their own performances to prevent self-criticism. Bialik values the experience of acting and moving forward rather than revisiting past roles. The surprising reason Mayim Bialik has never watched The Big Bang Theory. So, imagine you're on a super celebrated TV show. You're playing a beloved character for 9 whole seasons, and millions of people know your face. You'd think you'd be glued to the TV, watching every single episode, right? Well, not Mayim Bialik. In fact, she's never actually watched herself on The Big Bang Theory. Can you believe that? The very actress who played Amy Farrah Fowler, one of the show's most requisite characters, has openly admitted that she never watches her performances on the show. Ever. You'd think an actor would love watching themselves, especially if they're in a hit show that made them famous. But Bialik? Nah, she just doesn't see the hype. However, the 49-year-old is not alone either. Many actors feel the same way. Watching their own performances can feel awkward, cringy, and even a little weird. And so, Bialik made a decision to skip watching her own. You might think this is odd, but it's actually something a lot of actors do. So, why would someone so big in the TV world, like Bialik, not want to watch their own character on screen? Let's know! Why Mayim Bialik has never seen The Big Bang Theory. When you're an actor on a hit show like The Big Bang Theory, people expect you to love watching yourself on TV. But for Mayim Bialik, it's a completely different story. In a 2020 interview with Metro UK, she admitted that she has never sat down and watched a full episode of The Big Bang Theory. The actress further stated, "I've never seen most of the episodes. I don't watch myself on television. I've never sat and watched an episode of our show, Eve. I've seen snippets on stage when they would show them to the audience, but no, I don't watch myself. I saw pieces of the last episode, but I was in it, you know?" It's not like Bialik doesn't appreciate the show or her role. She definitely does. But watching herself perform is just something the mom of 2 is not into. She's never watched the show on her own outside of work. For her, the experience was about living it in the moment, not rehashing it later. A lot of actors struggle with watching themselves on screen. It's super weird. Seeing yourself like an outsider makes it hard not to overanalyze everything. And Bialik's no different. So, instead of rewatching and picking apart every little thing, she'd rather move on and focus on what's next. Amy Farrah Fowler is one of the biggest roles of Mayim Bialik's career. Amy Farrah Fowler was a decisive moment in Mayim Bialik's career. Before landing the role of Amy, Bialik was already well known for her childhood role in Blossom. But after that, she took a break from acting and earned a PhD in neuroscience. Yes, seriously. When she was asked to join The Big Bang Theory, it was a huge shot. Amy was introduced in Season 3 as a love interest for Sheldon Cooper, played by Jim Parsons. Amy was a little quirky, a little socially awkward, and very much like Sheldon in many ways. It was clear from the start that these two characters were an ideal match. Even though they were both socially inept, they had an unusual bond that made their relationship so special. Over the seasons, Amy and Sheldon's friendship turned into something much more profound. They ended up getting married and even snagged a Nobel Prize in the final season. Bialik's portrayal of Amy was astonishing. And her performance earned her several Emmy nominations for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. Her character's arc, from awkward scientist to loving wife, made Amy one of the most beloved characters on the show. And yet, despite all of this, Bialik still didn't feel the need to rewatch her work. We get her reasons, though. Other actors who have refused to watch themselves on screen. Turns out, Mayim Bialik isn't the only one who shuns watching herself on screen. A lot of celebs do the same, they just don't feel like it once it's all wrapped up. Honestly, we get why. Johnny Depp's also spoken up about dodging his own films. Depp said he avoids watching them so he doesn't fall into the trap of critiquing himself. The movie mogul added, "Once my job is done on the film, it's really none of my business. I stay as far away. If I can, I'd try to stay in as profound a state of ignorance as possible." Reese Witherspoon is also on the list of actors who don't watch their own films. The actress told the Daily Express that if she watched herself, she would spiral into a state of self-hate. Instead of stressing over what she could have done differently, Witherspoon prefers to move forward. Javier Bardem has been skipping his own films for decades. He said in an interview with GQ via/film, "The fact that I like to make other actors, like Cillian Murphy, Nicole Kidman, Andrew Garfield, Jared Leto, and Julianne Moore, have also mentioned that they prefer not to watch their performances. They focus on the experience of acting and let it go once the work is finished. Doesn't mean that I like to watch my characters being made.